Many people believe they are poor because they earn little. They think that if they had a higher salary, everything would be resolved. But what if I told you that the problem isn't how much you earn, but what you do with what you have? There is a hidden habit, almost invisible, that acts like a silent thief. It doesn't ask for permission, doesn't make a sound, and before you realize it, your money is already gone. It's not in big purchases or obvious decisions. On the contrary, it hides in the details, the routine, the small expenses that seem harmless. Have you noticed how, month after month, the money comes in and disappears without you knowing exactly where it went? You work hard, you put in the effort, but in the end, you feel like you're never getting anywhere. This happens because small decisions, repeated every day, eventually become a giant problem. And the worst part? It happens without you realizing. It's automatic, an unconscious pattern that keeps you stuck in the same cycle, preventing you from building a more secure financial life. But the good news is that, just like this habit was created without you noticing, it can also be broken. And that's what we'll discover in the next few minutes. You wake up early, face traffic or a day full of tasks, dedicate yourself to work, and at the end of the month, you get paid. But before you even notice, the money is gone. The bills come, expenses seem to pop up out of nowhere, and your account balance disappears like magic. And then it starts all over again. Another month of effort, another paycheck slipping through your fingers. This doesn't happen because you're not working hard enough. On the contrary, you give your best, try to save, but the feeling that there's never anything left follows you all the time. The problem isn't your dedication, but how the money is managed, or rather, the lack of control over the small expenses that go unnoticed. Often, the mistake isn't how much you earn, but the habits that make your money disappear without you realizing. Small, daily decisions made without planning can end up consuming a large portion of your salary before you even have time to use it wisely. The cycle repeats: work, receive, spend, and end up with nothing. The good news is that this can change. But for that, you need to see where your money is really going and learn to control it before it controls you. Many people believe the secret to a peaceful financial life is earning more money. If my salary were double, everything would be solved, they think. But is that really true? If it were that simple, we wouldn't see so many famous people and lottery winners going bankrupt just a few years after making fortunes. The problem isn't how much comes in, but how it goes out. And the worst part is that it leaves silently, disguised as routine. That daily stop for coffee, a snack in the middle of the afternoon, a subscription to a service you almost never use. Everything seems small and harmless, but by the end of the month, these small decisions accumulate and suck away a large portion of your money without you noticing. What happens is that your brain gets used to these expenses. You don't see them as a problem because they're part of your daily life. And that's exactly where the danger lies. When an expense becomes a habit, it stops being questioned. If nothing changes, you may earn a bigger salary, even double your income, but the feeling of always being tight will continue. Because in the end, it's not about earning more, but learning to use well what you already have. Have you stopped to think about where your money goes? You might remember the big bills: rent, electricity, water, internet, but what about those small daily expenses? That coffee at the bakery before work, the late-night delivery because you were too tired to cook, the subscription to a service you almost never use, the impulse buy at the market, or that cute blouse that seemed irresistible on sale. These expenses seem harmless. After all, the coffee costs just a few bucks, the snack isn't a big hit on the budget, and the streaming service barely shows up on the credit card bill. But when you add it all up, you realize that these small leaks are responsible for taking away a significant portion of your salary. Imagine that your money is a big water reservoir. Now think of these small expenses as tiny holes spread throughout this reservoir. On their own, each hole lets out just a few drops, but over time, the amount of wasted water becomes enormous. The worst part is that while you don't see the problem, you keep filling the reservoir the same way, working harder, aiming for a higher salary, but the water keeps leaking out. The big danger of small expenses is precisely the fact that they're small. They go unnoticed because they don't make an immediate impact. But in the long run, they can prevent you from achieving bigger goals, like paying off debt, investing, or even building a financial reserve. And you know what's worse? The human brain tends to minimize these expenses. It convinces itself that it's just today, it's a small amount, I deserve it. And without noticing, this daily repetition turns into a habit that drains your income month after month. The result? A vicious cycle where money comes in and out aimlessly, without planning, without generating any value for your future. If you want to get out of this trap, the first step is to start observing these small expenses. Ask yourself, do I really need this? Zrania, could this money be used better? If I added up these amounts at the end of the month, how much would I be wasting? The answer may surprise you and maybe show you that the solution to your financial life isn't earning more, but learning to take better care of what you already have. The future we so desire isn't something that falls from the sky. It's built day by day with every decision we make. Imagine that your life is like a big house. Every choice you make, big or small, is like placing a brick in that construction. Now think about your expenses, your work, your priorities. Every time you buy something unnecessary or fail to invest in something that really matters, it's like placing a brick in your bubble, that bubble that prevents you from growing and reaching what you really want. If we're not careful, this bubble can suffocate us and keep us away from our goals. But there's good news. If you wake up, realize what's happening, and take on the mission of transforming your life, everything can change. And it doesn't require a big effort. We just need to start making more conscious decisions, looking at our choices, and understanding their impact on our future. Imagine if, instead of spending without thinking, you started saving, investing in things that will really take you further. Each wise choice is like a brick in your future, building a strong foundation that will support any challenge. That's what happens when you wake up to the power you have over your life and begin to act with intention. Observe what's happening around you, identify patterns, change what's not working, and finally, act. This is the path to progress. And here's the key. Knowing something, having the knowledge of how things work, is not enough if you don't take the step to put into practice what you've learned. If you know you need to change, but do nothing to change, it's like letting an incredible opportunity pass right in front of you and not seizing it. It's like seeing time fly by, and when you realize it, it's already gone. So take a moment and look at your choices. Are they leading you where you want to go? If the answer is no, it's time to act. Turn every expense, every decision into something that brings you closer to your goals. Because in the end, the future is made of every choice, and you have the power to shape it brick by brick. Now that we understand that the future is built with every choice we make, imagine this in an even deeper way. Every financial decision we make is like a small step in building a great structure. If you impulsively spend on things that don't add value to your life, it's like placing weak bricks in that construction, bricks that could collapse at any moment. Every unthoughtful expense is an unstable base that will not support your dreams and long-term goals. On the other hand, every conscious choice you make, whether saving, investing, or educating yourself financially, is like placing strong, firm bricks. These bricks form a solid foundation that over time will support your financial life and allow you to achieve what once seemed impossible. By beginning to understand the power of each decision, you begin to change the way you look at your money and your future. The big issue is that many times we don't realize the impact of small choices. Sometimes we spend on things we don't need because it's easier or because we're looking for immediate satisfaction. But true progress comes when you observe what you're doing, reflect on the results these choices will bring in the future, and begin to act differently. That's what it means to observe, change, and act. This process of change may not be immediate, and that's when many give up. They begin to see that it's difficult to cut expenses or start saving, and they get discouraged. But if you really stop to think, the key to progress is consistency. It's not about making big changes all at once, but about making small improvements day by day. When you begin to act with intention, each small decision makes a difference and will accumulate over time. Now take a moment to reflect. You know what you need to do to improve your financial life, right? Maybe you need to start saving a portion of your salary, or perhaps it's time to invest in your education to better manage your money. The problem is not the lack of knowledge, but the lack of action. What happens when you know what you should do, but don't take action? You simply let time pass without taking advantage of the opportunities that arise, and your financial life remains stagnant, without growth. It's at this point that many begin to see their life fall apart before their eyes. They have dreams, they know what they need to do, but they don't take action. And the worst part is that this lack of action ends up becoming a cycle. When you don't act, you start to believe that you're not capable of changing. But believe me, you are. Change begins now, the moment you decide to act. So observe your choices, reflect on their impact, and most importantly, start acting. Each small change, each brick you lay with wisdom, will build a much more solid and prosperous future. The future you desire is being formed today, in every step you take, in every decision you make. Don't let time pass without taking advantage of the power you have to transform your life. Remember, knowing is important, but acting is what makes the difference. Progress is made by continuous action, not empty promises. Now that you understand how each financial choice affects your future, let's dive deeper into this concept. Imagine someone's financial life as a road. You are constantly walking or driving on it, and with every curve or decision you make, you are creating the path you'll follow. Sometimes the road is full of tempting shortcuts that seem easier and faster, but these shortcuts don't always lead to the destination you desire. They can steer you off course, making the journey more difficult in the future. Oftentimes, what we see as an easy solution in the moment, impulsive buying, spending without planning, or living without a budget, ends up becoming an obstacle. These shortcuts may even give us a temporary sense of relief or pleasure, but over time, they pull us further from our goals. And before we know it, we are on a road that leads nowhere. This is the moment you need to pause, look at your life map, and ask, where do I really want to go? Only then can you adjust your direction, change the course, and get back on the right path. But how do you get back on track? The answer lies in taking control of your financial decisions. Start with a simple step. Observe your habits. What have you been doing so far? Are you following the shortcuts that offer instant gratification, or are you making decisions that bring you closer to what you really want? The key to improving your financial situation isn't in making big changes all at once, but in adjusting small details, one step at a time. Each conscious spending decision, each investment choice, each moment you put your financial life first is like taking a new direction that gets you closer to your goal. Sometimes, in the middle of the road, the temptation to abandon the journey can be great. Daily life is full of distractions and pressures that make us want to give up on our plans. The secret here is to remember why you started. Your end goal is what gives you the strength to keep going. If you have a plan, if you know exactly where you want to go, It will be easier to resist the temptations that come your way. Now it's time to act. Don't wait for a big moment of change or a surge of motivation to take control of your financial life. The moment to act is now. Start with what you have, with what you can control. Make a budget. Start saving a little each month. Look for ways to invest in your future. No matter how small or insignificant it may seem, every step you take now is a brick in the building of your future. And over time, these small steps will add up and become a big change. When you start acting consciously, your view of money and the future changes. What once seemed difficult to achieve now becomes a possible reality because you are building that reality every day. And don't think it's too late to start. It's never too late to make a smart decision, change your perspective, and begin acting in a more focused way. The future doesn't happen by chance. It is made up of choices, and every choice you make today is a reflection of the future you will have. So, look around you. What do you see? Where do you want to be in a year, in 5 years? If you want a better future, start building it now. Every brick laid wisely will bring you closer to the future you dream of. Now, the big question is, are you ready to start this journey? Are you prepared to change your vision and make the choices that will transform your financial life? The future is waiting for you, and it begins with each step you take now. As you move forward on this journey, it's important to remember that every choice made in the present has the power to shape the future you desire. It's like planting a tree. What you do now, with the small decisions you make every day, will determine how strong, big, and fruitful that tree will be in the future. There's no point in planting a tree and expecting it to grow healthy and strong without taking care of it regularly. This means you need to be consistent in your financial actions, make thoughtful decisions, and most importantly, be patient during the process. What many people don't realize is that money, just like a plant, needs time to grow. If you're just starting to focus on your finances, you may not see immediate results. And that's okay. What matters is that you're on the right path. By investing in your goals and adopting healthy money habits, you're laying the roots of your financial tree. As time goes by, you will see growth. It might not be instant, but the transformation will happen gradually. But what does it mean to have a solid foundation? Having a solid foundation means making choices that, in the long run, will bring you stability. This may involve actions like paying off debt, creating a monthly budget, cutting unnecessary expenses, or investing in passive income sources. Each of these actions is a way to strengthen the roots of your financial tree, ensuring that it grows firmly and securely. At the same time, don't forget that life is unpredictable. Financial challenges, unforeseen events, and even everyday difficulties will arise. But here's the secret. The stronger your foundation, the better prepared you will be to deal with the storms. Just like a tree, deep and strong roots can withstand the strongest winds. So the more you invest in your finances and your knowledge of them, the more resilient your future will become. Now it's time to reflect on your own tree. Are you taking care of it? Are you making smart, consistent financial decisions? Are you creating strong roots that will support any challenges that arise? The good news is that no matter how far you think you are from your goal, there's always time to start taking care of that tree. The future you want is within reach, and it all starts now. And if you ask yourself, how can I ensure I'm on the right path? Зрение. Ответ прост. Продолжайте принимать осознанные решения и обучать себя. Learn more about how to manage your money, how to invest, and how to save. Don't let the lack of knowledge stop you from taking the right steps. Knowledge is the fertilizer that will make your tree grow strong and healthy. In the end, the financial journey is not a race. It's a walk. And the most valuable walk is the one where, with every step you take, you get closer to the future you desire. Building the life of your dreams with consistency, patience, and careful actions. The choices you make now will directly reflect in the results you will reap in the future. So, the question now is, are you ready to take care of your financial tree and make sure it grows strong? Or will you wait another day, another week, another month? Time is a precious resource, and every moment you delay, you also delay the future you want. The time to act is now, and the decision is yours. Looking toward the future, the truth is that financial life is a journey of constant learning and adaptation. There is no single fixed path or magic formula for financial success. Instead, it's a series of choices and adjustments over time. You already know that every decision matters, but now it's time to understand how to stay on the right path, even in the face of the challenges and changes that inevitably arise. Imagine your financial life is like a board game. Every move, every choice brings you closer to a goal, but you need to be aware of obstacles and opportunities. Sometimes the path may seem difficult, with challenges that arise without warning, like an unexpected expense or a financial loss. In those moments, it's easy to feel discouraged or even think about giving up. But remember, you can choose how to react to these situations. The secret is not to lose sight of the end goal, to keep playing and learning with each step. The truth is that even when things don't go as planned, you have the power to change the trajectory. You can adjust the sails of your boat, even if the wind is against you. And this is where perseverance and knowledge come into play. When you understand what needs to be done, even if obstacles appear, you know how to overcome them. Every step you take, no matter how small, is a step toward your financial future. And if you have patience, persistence, and learn from your mistakes, the results will start to show. Don't be fooled. The path to financial prosperity is not linear. It has its ups and downs, and many times you will need to make tough decisions. But that's what shapes your character and strengthens your ability to deal with life's unexpected challenges. For example, if you go through a difficult financial moment, it's the lessons learned from that experience that will strengthen your future. Instead of getting discouraged by a setback, use it as a springboard to do better next time. The growth mindset is essential. Instead of focusing on difficulties, focus on opportunities. See challenges as a chance to learn and grow. Every mistake, every failure is an opportunity to improve your skills and reinforce your financial knowledge. And remember, success doesn't come overnight. It's the sum of all the small, consistent efforts you make over time. These small victories, accumulated, lead to great achievements. And this is where discipline plays a fundamental role. The discipline to stick to your budget, not spend more than you earn, and invest in your future is what will ensure that you get to where you want to go. The key to a successful financial life is consistency. It's not about making big achievements, it's about doing the right things repeatedly, with focus and determination. Now imagine the reward at the end of this journey. By making conscious financial choices, you begin to build something bigger than just money. You create freedom, security, and a legacy that can be passed on to future generations. This is what you build when you make the right decisions, wisely, every day. And the best part is, you're not alone on this journey. There are countless tools, resources, and people ready to help you along the way. So, if you haven't started taking control of your financial life yet, now is the time. Every small step you take, every decision you make, brings you closer to a safer, more prosperous future. It doesn't matter where you are now. What matters is what you do from now on. Every day is a new opportunity to transform your life, to build a more solid and fulfilling future. And remember, the future is not made of big miracles, but of constant and well-made choices. Now, it's time to act. The future you desire begins with the decisions you make today. Are you ready to continue this journey, take the right steps, and achieve what you've always dreamed of? What are you waiting for to start? So what did you think of all this? The choices you make now will undoubtedly shape your financial future. So don't waste any time. If you're ready to transform your life and take the right steps toward the future you want, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Here, we'll continue bringing valuable tips to help you on this journey. Don't forget to activate the bell to stay on top of all the news. Let's go together toward a more prosperous future.